Stirring the coffee with chopsticks using the vortex method, the only true way to optimize the taste of your coffee at the molecular level. Good morning. Welcome to the Daybreak Show. I am the Sultan. We'll get started, but first, Guatemalan coffee made with the pour-over method in a Strength and Honor Motorcycle Club coffee mug. Perfect. It even tastes better in this mug. And my shirt is also from the Strength and Honor Motorcycle Club. Logo on the back. Pull it off. So I'm an honorary member. That's thanks to Bryant Halstead. I was on his podcast called The Graybeard Chronicles a couple weeks ago, and I will be co-publishing that podcast, which is also a video, on this YouTube channel. I think you'll really like it. Two guys talking about life, wisdom, adding up the number of years between all of us, which is something that I'm enjoying doing recently. And I think we had 180 years of life experience on that podcast. So it's worth watching. It is. For those people who can't stop talking about hypergamy and women, you ain't seen nothing until you research what a father wanted for his daughter's hand in marriage. So I say make arranged marriages great again. Can you imagine when a woman's marriage and life partnership was in the hands of her father and what he wanted for his daughter? I'm the father of a daughter. I know I want nothing but good for my daughter. And it's very similar to what maybe a woman might want for herself, but with a little more wisdom. For instance, I want a man that's going to be able to take care of her physically, protect her, defend her. I want a man that can provide for her. I want a man that can guide her. I want a man who's going to provide wonderful, strong offspring with her. I want more for my daughter than she would want for herself. In the light of history, women choosing marriage, which is what most of the hypergamy people don't realize, women choosing their mates is only that much in the entire timeline of history. Fathers were the ones who chose the husband, the mate, for their daughters. And that also included a dowry. It could be sheep, oxen, crops, working for the man for a number of years. Men, fathers, demanded a lot for their daughter's hand in marriage. There's the original hypergamy for you, and that tosses today's concept of hypergamy on its head. Remember, a woman choosing her mate in the timeline of history is this little blip. So entire movements are made on a blip. About half of the marriages in the world today are arranged marriages. My grandparents had an arranged marriage. It seems strange, doesn't it? But my grandparents had an arranged marriage. Listen to this. The divorce rate in arranged marriages is 4 to 6%, versus when a woman chooses her partner, it's 40 to 60% for the first marriage, the divorce rate. Imagine that? That's why I say make arranged marriages great again. Well, George, the world is not like that anymore. Reminds me of a scene in a movie, The Mission, with Robert De Niro and Jeremy Irons, if I'm not mistaken, where at the end of the movie, an entire tribe was slaughtered by quote-unquote explorers in the New World. And I remember one of the king's aides said, when he heard of the slaughter of this tribe, he said, "Thus is the world." And the king said, "No, we have made it thus." So, are we to blame for the state of marriage today? Partially to blame. I go against all the blame shifters everywhere. The authors, the video makers. We have contributed to it. It's like the men who bitch and moan about how women are nothing but hoes and all this kind of stuff. But yet, they brag about notch count. If you think about it, men have contributed to the very situation, the condition that they loathe. Do your part. Well, if women weren't so quick to get on their back and spread their legs, then maybe that wouldn't happen. That women have to take responsibility for that too. This is not the blame shifting channel. You can go to 50 other channels where they point the finger. This is just not one of them. You might get great satisfaction and feel good about those other channels. I don't. I feel icky and dirty. And that's because I changed my life. There was a change of my mind and a change of my life. Because there was a time when I was about notch count. And I absolutely distance myself and disavow myself from that era in my life. And I realized the error of my ways. It's not something to brag about. I've told a few people in my life, and I'm embarrassed and ashamed of it. It's not with pride that I talk about that. So when people say to me, "You're just an old incel," my response is, I'm actually a vol-cel, V-O-L, a voluntary celibate. I'm choosing not to until I get married. And that is a fairly honorable decision in the light of how my life operated for the first 3 quarters. That's something I want you to think about. Back to arranged marriages. A father wanted the best for his daughter. We don't point the finger at him and say, hypergamy. But when it comes to a woman wanting the best for herself, there's entire movements based upon hypergamy. Like I said, the woman choosing her partner is that much in the light of history. 4 to 6%. Maybe I should do some research. It sounds like it would be a great doctoral thesis that could be a book. Maybe I'll just write a book on it, I don't know, on arranged marriages, and call it Make Arranged Marriages Great Again. I don't know. What do you think? Put your answer down below. Is the world too far gone? Are we going to be like the king's aide and say, thus is the world? And I'm going to have to respond to you and say, no, we have made it thus. So what is your way of rebelling? You heard me say you want to be a rebel in 2021? Get married, have kids, do it the right way. Yeah, but women and the laws, and I get that. You think I'm stupid? I'm not. I've been there. I know about women and the laws, and have been victimized by it as well. And robbed. Completely stripped naked of most of my resources nearly 20 years ago. I know what that's like. So I'm not unknowledgeable about what's happening. But what I'm not going to do is warn and forbid people from marrying. There's a foolishness in the men's community that runs rampant, and there's a private logic. It's magical thinking that somehow listening to gurus about not marrying this or not getting married at all, or marrying a single mother. I'm not a huge fan of marrying single mothers, but I have friends who married single mothers, divorced moms, and their marriages are fantastic. I'm not promoting it, but I'm not forbidding it. But I do say stop and think before you do it. Because not everyone who marries a single mom or blends families together is successful. I think that there's a higher rate of trouble with situations like that, no doubt. Marriage in today's world is hard with just 2 people who've never been married. You want to add a little more trouble to that? Get 2 people who are divorced who want to get married. Want to add even more trouble to that? Add the element of one or both of them having children. It can be difficult. I'm not saying it can't. So I'm not promoting running blindly into anything, but I'm not forbidding anyone either. And I can probably help you vet the other person if you reach out to me. And of course, it's not free or cheap, but I can do that. And it would save you a lot of money and heartache in the future. The cost to fill up the gas tank in my truck used to be $50, about $49, right when I top it off. Right now, it's $65. So in the past 3 months, gas has gone up $15 for my tank, the gas tank. $15. And there's no sign of it going backwards or slowing down. My wallet helps me vote. And I didn't vote for a $15 increase. Let's see where it is by the end of 2021. Let's see how much you're paying for gas. Have you had enough yet? Chironomia is the art of gesticulations or hand gestures in supporting oratory or conveyance of unspoken meaning understood by the audience. And what I mean by that is when you look at religious icons and the hand signals, the hand in these paintings and mosaics, this one here, same thing. They are hand gestures. Thumb on the ring finger usually means, this means Christ in Greek letters. Interesting, right? When you look at all the paintings and mosaics of religious figures, even Christ, I always wondered, what are the hands? Like, what's going on with that? What is happening there? That's called Chironomia. And there was a book called Chirologia, and that was all about hand signals. Look that up if you want to follow through on that and do a little more research. But if you are curious about details in things, check out Chironomia. I think you'll find it interesting. In order for that chemistry to be there, we knew it was about being attracted to one another. It was there undoubtedly, and the sexual chemistry was real. I think it gave us a real edge that no other TV couple had at that time. That was a quote from John Astin, who played Gomez Addams, as he was referring to his on-screen relationship with Carolyn Jones, who played Morticia. A lot of that lovey-dovey stuff and the eyes that they made towards each other was real sexual attraction. They weren't just acting it. Quite interesting, isn't it? Now, if you watch the Addams Family, you'll see them in a different light. You know how you do a fast and a cleanse for physical health? Have you done that? Of course you have. Most of my fans are into some type of fasting and cleanses. How about a fast and a cleanse from trolls, controlling people, their opinions, and their approval and disapproval cycle in your life? You will never achieve what you can be if you are pulled in any direction except the one you determine. Do what you want to do without any pull or persuasion of others. You'll be much happier and you'll be much more successful. I am speaking at a conference in June called the Conference of Masculine Excellence. I will put a link for it down below. The speakers so far are myself, Zach Small, previously known as Hunter Drew, Terrence Popp, Donovan Sharp, Myron Gaines, Phil Foster, Aaron Clary, Texas Dom, Coach Greg Adams, and Hotep Jesus. And there might be a couple others that are added to that. It should be interesting. It's in Las Vegas, and many of these guys are guys that I didn't get along with, I would say philosophically, at one point. And I will say I get along with them now because one of the reasons, I'm not going to say the only reason, is because I reached out. And if I had an attitude towards them, and they're all controversial, if I had an attitude towards them, it affected my relationship with them if I was going to see them face to face. Because many times people say things online that they would never say face to face or never get away with saying face to face. Sometimes I refer to people as, they talk like they've never got punched in the face. I've gotten punched in the face when I was younger. It does humble you. But rather than trolling each other when you do this, which I grew up doing this, I find it odd. So these are men that some of them, which I didn't get along with, and we sniped at each other for at least a couple years online, which is stupid. Just, some people say that's feminine behavior. No, it's stupid behavior. It's just dumb, ignorant behavior. And having a sit down with people, literally having a sit down and talking to them, keeping it real, you find that you have more in common with them when the goal is helping a certain demographic. So we're going to be at a conference in Las Vegas at a top-notch hotel, casino, resort kind of thing. It's outside of Vegas. It's not on the Strip. I'm not interested in the Strip in Las Vegas at all. This is probably 20 to 30 minutes outside of what you know as Las Vegas. And it's unbelievable. It was breathtaking. When I was there 2 weeks ago and looked out my window, I was blown away at just the scenery, natural scenery. It wasn't casinos and tall buildings and flashing lights. It was God's creation. It was beautiful. Literally, I was speechless when I opened up the curtains in my room. It was magnificent. So join me for that conference of masculine excellence. And I will be helping to host the conference and also doing interviews as well with all the speakers. And I will be filling you in as time goes on.
Everybody is talking about the Conference of Masculine Excellence. And why wouldn't they? It's the premier event in this men's community, and it will usher in a new era of conventional masculinity and self-improvement. Anything and everything that pertains to dominating life as a man in the 20s will be discussed extensively by an all-star cast which has some of the biggest names in this community. Men like Coach Greg Adams, Aaron Clary, Myron Gaines, and George Bruno, just to name a few. The CME is focused on helping men to become the best versions of themselves in every aspect of life, such as financial literacy, health and fitness, mental strength, image and style, family and legacy, and much, much more. The conference will be held at a world-class venue in fabulous Las Vegas. The posh surroundings and all of the amenities you can imagine will make this event an experience of a lifetime. Included in your ticket is live access to all speeches, the live filming of the 6, and the opportunity to converse with the speakers themselves. How cool is that? Breakfast on both mornings is also included, as well as a 5-course meal at the Feast of Champions. The feast will be held on Saturday night and will feature some of the best cuisine in Sin City. VIP ticket holders get all of this, plus exclusive access to the VIP meet and greet in a penthouse suite with all of the speakers. You'll get the opportunity to rub elbows with, pick the brains of, and hang out with some of the most influential men in this community. Even sweeter than that, as a VIP, your room is also included. That's right, purchase a VIP ticket and your luxury hotel room is on us. Now don't fret if you're not a VIP. As a standard attendee, you will also have the opportunity to get your lodging taken care of. Just be one of the first 50 attendees and we've got you covered. Got a friend who wants to come with you? Their ticket is half off. Or maybe your ticket is half off. Either way, bring a friend and you get our buy one get one half off special. Not applicable for VIP tickets or standard tickets with room included. The Conference of Masculine Excellence will feature state-of-the-art technology to keep things running smoothly and efficiently. Attendees will get access to the CME app, which will keep you in the know every step of the way. The app features QR code scanning, which will make check-on upon arrival at the event quick and painless. A map of the venue so you'll know where everything is located, the itinerary, and push notifications that will alert you with updates and instructions throughout the event. The app will also allow you to chat with the other attendees, as well as submit questions to the speakers they will answer at the conclusion of their speeches. The inaugural Conference of Masculine Excellence will serve as a new beginning for this community, and you have the opportunity to be a part of history. If you've ever been on the fence about attending a men's conference, now is the time. You will come out the other side a better man with knowledge you will carry with you for the rest of your life. You owe it to yourself to take advantage of this incredible opportunity to increase your value and change your life forever. So join us in Las Vegas, June 4th through June 6th to be on the ground floor of this transformational conference. Space is limited, so go to masculineexcellence.com to get your ticket today. See you in Vegas.
For many, getting cremated is their only chance to get a smoking hot body. I read that yesterday. That made me laugh. I thought that was funny. I will be moving to another platform and only uploading here one day a week, because this is a platform that doesn't like my message, and I find myself biting my tongue and editing. There's a lot of video footage that falls on the cutting room floor as I'm editing Daybreak shows and many of my talks here. And what I want to do is maintain this channel, but I don't want to grow it anymore. I'm going to be moving to another platform that truly is about free speech. It'll be a subscription-based thing. So I know some of you won't be able to do that or don't want to do that, and some of you will. For those of you that will, I will be letting you know what platform I'm going to be on, but you still have a lot of content here. And I'll be doing a show here on YouTube once a week. So you'll still get a lot of that information and be able to grow. I've always said if you take that much information and leverage it properly, that little seed of information can change your life. You can take one thing that I say that's going to flip a switch inside that this time next year you're going to be unrecognizable. This can either be an entertaining show, an ASMR show, a show that you're watching or listening to while you're driving or walking, or it can be something where you just take that little seed, that little bit of data that you hear, and it can change your life. I'm not going to go so far and say, save your life. That's up to you to say. When I get a message or an email from you that says, what you said in this particular show did save my life, that's great. I'm not going to run around saying my show saves lives. I can say it changes lives, but if it saves your life, then that's wonderful. Then praise the Lord, glory be to God, not glory be to me. Because God is the one who truly saves, not me. Another funny thing I heard. Did you know on the Canary Islands there is not one canary? And on the Virgin Islands, same thing. Not one canary there either. I thought that was hilarious. I saw this quote the other day that said, describe your 5 closest friends, the 5 people who you spend the most time with. Describe how they are. And you just described yourself. That was from Steve Harvey. Pretty interesting. We've heard you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I've had some people say, well, I don't even have 5 friends. No, but you watch certain content creators. You are the average of the 5 content creators that you watch. Who do you watch? Who do you watch on YouTube and other platforms? Are they cynical? Are they angry? Guess what's going to happen to you? Cynical and angry. Are they smartasses? Guess what you're going to be? Are they people seeking wisdom? You're going to be wise. So choose wisely your 5 top content creators. When I was a younger man, I hung out a lot with older men and listened to them. And my job was just to shut up and listen and enjoy. And now that I'm an older man, I have a lot of young people listening to me. I even have a guy that's in his 70s who said to me, "You're the father that I never had." And I get that. Wisdom can come from a lot of sources. And I think if you extract wisdom from multiple sources, you yourself can become wise if you start practicing those things. You've heard the phrase, if I knew then what I know now, life would have been different. It sure would have been. But when I was a younger man, I always hung out with older guys of all types, very successful shirt and tie kind of guys, mobster types. I've hung out with everybody, everyone. And what I gleaned from this very extremely rich life of mine is a nice, balanced life and contentment and happiness as I'm getting older. I feel good about things. I feel bad about some of the shit that I've done, but I feel great of how the ship has righted itself and is now sailing smoothly. And you, even if you've made bad mistakes, even if you've gone down a bad road, it's never too late to get back on the right road. It's never too late. I don't believe it can be too late. I think if you change your mind, there's a true renewal of your thought process, of your mindset, that you can change yourself. That's why I talk about hope, positivity, optimism. That's why I always talk about this is the home of sanity, clarity, and reason. You can have those things. It can happen. Even if you've had a lifetime of bad decisions, even if you've been cynical and angry, you can be happy, positive, optimistic, and be hopeful about your life. Even if you've been through the shittiest divorce and dragged through the mud, you can still have a decent life if you make the proper decisions and don't jump back into the fire. Don't jump into the slaughterhouse. Learn how to make new decisions based upon new information. Life can be good for you. Here's a funny joke that I heard, and some of you have heard this before. Today there's a lot of funny jokes on the Daybreak Show. Roy was a single guy living at home with his father and working in the family business when he found out he was going to inherit a fortune when his sickly father died. He decided he needed a wife to share his fortune with, and one night at an investment meeting, he spotted the prettiest woman he had ever seen. "I may look just like an ordinary man," he said to her, "but in a few years my father will die, and I'm going to inherit $200 million. Very impressed, the woman obtained his business card, and 3 weeks later, she became his stepmother. And with that, finish your coffee, and I'll see you next week on the Daybreak Show, your home of sanity, clarity, and reason.
Deep in the shadows, I know it's hard to put one foot in front of the other. So far as the echo, where do we start? You can learn to discover a million stars. Here in the shadows, I know you're scared. Take my hand, together we'll make a stand. We've got to fight to find a way. Dare to fall to find out what to say. No more hate. Just admit that you're just afraid. Time to let go of all your fears and pride. Stand up beside me, don't you hide. We can build a better place. If we can just find a way, then we can live a better day. Rise from the ashes, from the anger, from the war. Let's come together, lift your spirit for the cause. We should be equal, should be living free. All together, one and only.